So last week I left you with these two vaguely bird-shaped pieces, and this week we're going to transform them into this crossbody pigeon bag. Hi, my name is Ellie, and I'm on a mission to use everything in my craft room before buying any new materials and supplies. Having finished the main body of the bag, the next step is of course the wings, which were much simpler in terms of colour changing. They just have two black stripes across them. And much the same as the main body, it's simply a case of increasing and decreasing and stitching across, so pretty simple. I then stitched a simple border all the way around to give it a bit more structure. It's pretty light, so pray for me. Eyes. For this project, I'm exclusively using yarn that I already had from a previous project, so we got a little bit tight in terms of how much yarn I actually had to spare for some of the parts. And that's eye number 2. Thankfully, I did have enough grey left over to do the beak. A little beak. But orange, however, was my biggest concern, and here you can see me playing a very tense game of yarn chicken as I make his little feet. But then I did some digging and I ended up finding another very small ball of the same yarn, so crisis averted. Horrific. I'm kind of obsessed with how gnarly and twisted the little feet are, just like real pigeon feet. Pigeon feet freak me out. Has anyone else ever noticed how none of them ever look normal or well in the feet region? It really grosses me out. Anyway. Moving on, I started by attaching the eyes to each side of the bag, and I did an okay job of it, but he is a little bit boz-eyed. His eyes are not even on both sides, but you'll never really see both eyes at the same time because they're on different sides of the bag, and please nobody point it out. He's very insecure about it. His wings, however, are very symmetrical, and he's very proud of that, so please feel free to leave him compliments about how even his wings are spaced. So now we're left with two perfectly even sides with no differences whatsoever. We're able to trace him out on a little bit of scrap fabric that I had, leaving about an inch of seam allowance when cutting so that we can later use it as the lining of the bag. I then hand sewed a zipper onto the crochet sides of the bag, which I did find a little bit fiddly, but I don't really know how else you could do it easier. And then I turned him inside out and sewed him together like Dr. Frankenstein, which was very satisfying. To give him a little bit more life, I also stuffed his head with some toy stuffing that I had lying around, and proceeded to sew on his beak. Boof, there we go. Next up were his feet, which were a lot more fiddly than I would have liked to admit, but I did eventually get them on there. There they are, disgusting. I sewed together the two pieces of lining, hand-stitched that in, and I used the following pieces to make an adjustable strap so that it can go around his waist or over his shoulder. And with the strap attached, here is the final product. It has been on every single dog walk since I made it for him, and it is exclusively filled with poo bags. Please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next week.